First question, fill in blank. What is a program that runs on a computer to manage and control a computer's activities? The answer is operating system. Okay? So the operating system is the most important software because it makes it possible for everything else to work, including all the other software. Number two, a what error does not cause program to abort but produces incorrect results. That type of error is known as logic error. Okay, so your program will run, it won't crash, but it will just give you some strange result, or just behave strangely.
Weird, yeah.
For example, you just keep getting output on the screen, it never stops. Or you get a unexpected value as output. That's logic error. How is it different from runtime error?
Runtime error. Because the runtime error makes it crash?
Yeah, it will crash. Your program will never get to finish. It will crash. And crashing has different manifestations, like it will most likely come up with an error message, a strange error message, very unintelligible, with some numbers, some addresses, in hex, most probably, and not very helpful usually. But sometimes it does give you a message like attempt to divide by 0, or integer overflow. The meaning of which will become clearer as we go. But the trouble with logic error is that it won't give you any error messages. You only get to find out when you look at the result. And of course, syntax error, if you have it, that's the most common type of error that we experience at the beginning when we are getting familiar with the rules of syntax of the language that we are learning. So, for example, a common syntax error in Python is missing a tab or typing in an extra space at the beginning of a line. Python lines have to be at the right column, have to start at the right column.
Okay.
Okay? So once you type in one line, if you hit enter, the next line will be lined up with the first line. Sometimes you will need to hit the tab to start the following lines indented. If you don't do that, then you may get a syntax error, or you may, depending on where you miss it, you may get a logic error and get some strange result. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, a syntax error is caused by violation of Python syntax rules. Okay, looks like I think the answer is already. So that is the answer. Violation of syntax rules. Yeah. For a moment, I thought I was looking at the question, not the solution.
Oops.
Violation of Python syntax rules. Okay.
So if we said, like, if we put, like, you're missing a comma or something,
Yeah.
that would suffice?
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, like you must have used the print statement, the print command. So if you want to output something on your screen, you enclose that within a pair of quotes, single or double quotes. And it's a common error, for example, if you're writing hello world out onto your screen, to just forget the closing quotation.
So it'll be like print plus print quote. hello world, quote, right parent.
Yeah, that's how it should be. But just missing that, or another common error is just having an extra pair of closing parentheses. I mean, here it's hard to imagine how you would do that, but in a more complex expression, the parentheses may not match. They should pair up. I should delete that. Number 4, writing a program involves designing the algorithm and then translating it into a program or code. Okay. If you've written designing the flowchart, did anybody give another answer?
I said the
Pseudocode?
Yeah, wrong.
No, not really, no. Because the pseudocode is an expression of the algorithm, and so is the flowchart, right?
So either one of us will work.
Yeah. Although I mean, strictly speaking, that is the best answer. Number 5, every variable in a program has a name and refers to a location in the computer's memory. Okay. So, and this is a concept that we need to become familiar with. Remember how the memory, the computer's memory or RAM is organized as a sequence of cells or memory locations, each one with an address. Address 1, address 2, whatever the actual value of the address is. And then you have values. A variable will always refer, so if you have a variable, say x, and you just assign the value 3 to this variable x, then there will be a location in memory with the value 3 in it, and this variable x will contain the address of 3. Did you get that? How it works? So that takes us to the question, what is a variable to start with? Well, variables are something that we must have to be able to do anything useful, because they store values.
Right.
They let us have values that we can work on. And they can be anything, from a number like 3 to somebody's name, to a percentage value, anything.
What about a sentence?
A sentence?
Entire sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. We have special names for those variables that store one or more characters. We call them strings, string variables. But the variables in Python are really storing references or addresses to whatever the value of that variable is.
Ah.
So if you have a variable called my name, okay, and I store my name, and so I assign this. Okay, so this statement has just assigned this value, which are the characters in my first name, to this variable my name. Now the effect of that is my name variable is referring to that location in memory, which has this string of characters. Okay, so this will actually have if the actual address of that location in memory is address 2, then address 2 is the reference to this variable. Okay? So the my name, that variable my name, is really this reference that points to this location, or that gives us the address of the location in memory which has the value of my name. It's kind of
So you have to tell
slightly long-winded way.
You tell the computer, like you said that, like if your name is stored in address 2, you have to tell the computer, tell me what's in address 2 basically, by saying, inputting my name.
You are telling the computer to put whatever value you're typing in
Okay,
to my name.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. But we'll keep coming back to this, so it will all become more understandable. But that is the idea. Okay, so the main thing to learn here is the concept of a variable which stores something useful, some useful value. And that any value you're talking about, it's sitting somewhere in a memory location whose address is being referenced by that variable. Okay, so those are the 5 answers. Now